Hello, Evolutionary Astrologer Bryan Colter here for your horoscope report for the upcoming Leo full moon that happens on February 8th at 11:33 p.m. Pacific time. And I really love this full moon, and I knew I'd like it the second I saw it was at 11:33 p.m. Pacific, because that's one of my favorite numbers. I see that number everywhere, ever since I think it was 2012. When I ran my first and only 5K run. I'm not much of a runner, but that was my runner's number, 11:33, right there on my chest. And then ever since then, it's had a certain significance. I just see it everywhere, and I just kind of hang my hat on the idea that it's just some synchronistic number that I see anytime the universe is trying to get my attention, tell me to pay closer attention to the thoughts I just had or whatever. So it's turned into a bit of an omen for me. So I was excited to do this video. And beyond that, it's just a beautiful full moon. Leo is bright, it's exuberant, it's expressive, and it's shining a nice bright light, a spotlight on the darker corners of our psyches, but also on the globe. You know, we've been experiencing the Saturn-Pluto conjunction throughout most of 2019. They hit this crescendo a couple weeks ago, January 12th, when they were exactly together in the sky. They're still conjunct each other. And of course, I've talked about it. Every astrologer has talked about it in every video because it's so important. I mean, no matter what's going on astrologically, the Saturn-Pluto will always be the hub of the wheel. It's just so big picture, so important that we can never forget it. And I won't go into great detail about that yet again, but the pistachio nutshell version is it's the crumbling of old, outdated systems. Pluto, the planet of transformation, is wanting us to grow past, with aided and abetted by Saturn, grow past our egoic, self-centered, more Capricornian, darker qualities of ambition and control and stuff like this. So it's the crumbling of old archaic structures, okay? The toxic form of the patriarchy. And that's happening on a more global scale. Of course, in our personal lives, we're feeling the pressure cooker energy of these two planets because Saturn is calling us to mature and transform in our own personal lives too. Of course, this is impacting everybody a little bit differently. Again, depends on where it lands in your chart, if it's interacting with your sun, moon, and ascendant, what house it's landing in your chart, etc. But we're feeling it, definitely. And I would call the energy of these two planets uncomfortable. Everything represents an evolutionary opportunity, and there's no better time to gain a deeper level of satisfaction, integrity, self-respect, and then also grow beyond our own Plutonian wounding, which is to say psychological and emotional wounding. But there's a lot of people out there who are benefiting tremendously from these planets if they have the grit needed and the focus and the self-discipline to work with this uncomfortable energy, not only for their own betterment, but ultimately for the creation of a great work. That's the highest octave or possibility of working with heavy Saturn times, is to accomplish a great work in the world. And the nature of that great work, it's likely to bring you to your emotional edges. There's just the Pluto piece. You know, there needs to also be some transformation that occurs through really betting big on yourself and pushing yourself to the maximum. I'll just use myself as an example here. My Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter, I'll say some things about Jupiter in a second, but they're all transiting through my 6th house. And that's the house of service work. House of mentorship, also the house of duties and responsibilities and some of the more mundane logistical stuff in our life. And in terms of service work, wow, I've really been busting my butt. I've been leveraging as much potential out of these two planets as possible. I've been working 7 days a week since July. And I'm in desperate need of a vacation, that's for sure, and a more of a work-life balance. But, I've really been cranking 110% like Saturn really wants. He wants our diligence and our focus and our hard work to help bring about that great work. And this has been very fulfilling work for me, creating these videos on my channel and Lada's channel, building out my brand and working with my clients. And many of them are experiencing Saturn, Pluto squares and oppositions to their sun, moon, and ascendant. People come to me when they're feeling the pressure cooker energy, and helping people, work through that. It's deeply gratifying work, and it's definitely brought me to my emotional edges and some of my blind spots. Pluto calling me to transform, having to barrel through some of my fears around, creating these videos and really putting myself out there. So it's helpful to know where it lands in your chart, where you can focus this energy so that you can mature in Saturnian fashion as well as transform. And this is also strongly supported, as I was saying, by Jupiter. Jupiter wants us to have more faith in ourselves. Bet big, put all your chips in the middle. And Jupiter has a little bit more positive, or let's say supportive energy than the two baddies, Saturn, the greater malefic, and Pluto, the god of hell. Jupiter is the greater benefic, so it gets some balance there. The planet of luck and expansion. Jupiter wants you to ask yourself the question when thinking about how can I apply this very uncomfortable energy towards a great work. Jupiter says, ask yourself this: how have I been underestimating myself? Where in my life have I been settling for too little? And when you find the answer to that question, you'll understand the direction you need to go in with more clarity and just, go all in. Jupiter says you're much, much stronger than you think you are. And if you have the audacity to believe in yourself and put in the hard work necessary, that's when the so-called lucky planet Jupiter really has a magical quality to it. And the right synchronicities happen. You'll receive more omens. The law of attraction and manifestation are really activated as the right circumstances come into your life to support the creation of the great work. So, there's a lot of doom and gloom readings out there with Saturn, Pluto. I've said some pretty negative stuff about it in some of my videos too, because it's, there is a stark juxtaposition between light and dark with these two planets, okay? It's not good to be naive about the darkest potentials and sweep that under the rug, but of course we want to do our part in shining a bright, bright light on the highest octave expression of these combination of energies so that we can do what we're here to do, which is basically put our personal growth and evolution into hyperdrive. And we're seeing a lot of suffering in the world. Some of us are suffering greatly ourselves. And, it's important to recognize that God, honoring the bravery of our souls to come down here and elect to have such an experience. We elect to come down here to incarnate over and over and over again in this very, very dense dimension that is planet Earth, the school of hard knocks. If it was all sunshine and cuddle bears and unicorn farts, we wouldn't learn anything. So, we come down here in this realm of duality to ultimately suffer. There's some great things about living here too. I'm not trying to be super negative here, but wow, the bravery of our souls to come down here over and over and over again, with the goal being to simply just grow closer to God and raise our consciousness. And that's a beautiful thing. Okay, now that we've discussed the hub of the wheel, both the very shiny parts of it and then the parts of it that need a whole lot of buffing, we can now move on to the energy of the rest of the month, and recognize how we can pull in some helpful allies as we navigate these times. Now we have this Leo full moon coming up on February 8th, and then we have the Pisces new moon a couple weeks later. And right now, all the planets are direct. They're moving forward with momentum. There's a lot of fire energy going on, which, provides even more action, kinetic action and momentum. And then Mercury will then go into retrograde at the middle of the month and start going backwards in the more inward focused sign of Pisces. So right now we're pushing outward, and then we're going to come inward. So it's being more action-oriented, kind of picking up the clutter, preparing the altar space, so to speak, before we do our inward dive through the last half of the month and really the first week or week and a half of March. I really love this Leo full moon. Leo is exuberant and expressive. It shines brightly. It's ruled by the sun, which is about the heart space. So it always makes me think of the Care Bear stare, It's time to shine brightly into this world, be more expressive. It's a very creative sign. It's a fire sign, which is very action-oriented, decisive. Act first, ask questions later. And we also have a beautiful trine between this full moon and Mars, which is in Sagittarius, another fire sign. And Mars, the scorched planet, likes being in fire signs for obvious reasons. There's a deep resonance with the archetypal field that Mars represents in all the fire signs. So here it is applying this 120-degree angle, beautiful trine to the full moon, supporting it. This is a time of purification, a time of busyness, of taking action, and a time of creativity. And it's a time of having fun, Leo has some warmth to it. And, a lot of us have either seen a lot of suffering or suffered in our own lives over the last year because of this Saturn-Pluto. And this is a good time to do some therapy, which is doing what's fun. So much in life causes us to just endure it. And when that happens, the heart just tends to harden a little bit. Also, we get trapped into the mind, too, which I have some more things to say about that. But this is a time of softening and doing things that we enjoy. It's our medicine right now. So, go party, go out on the dance floor, do things that give you joy, go out on a sailboat or skydiving or go on some adventure, do some hiking, do something action-oriented, get the body in the idea of living, bodily engagement. A life lived passionately. And this is strongly supported by Mars, the god of war, in the sign of the traveler, Sagittarius. Maybe it is a good time to go on some adventures, go camping somewhere, go backpacking in the wilderness. Do something that brings you to your emotional edges, that gives you this sense of invigoration. And if it's some sort of adventure that allows you to do a little fear-facing, that's really good with Mars too. There's energy that can be supplied through this purification by fire, by bringing yourself to the walls of your fear so you can break through them. And doing more Sagittarian adventurous acts is one great way of doing that. Another one is through Leo. Leo, the evolutionary intention of Leo is to create, to leave evidence of its internal processes in the hands of the world. There's that Care Bear stare, the blinding light of expressiveness. So doing some creative acts for you artists out there, you can tap into that Mars energy, do some fear-facing, coupled with the how have I underestimated myself with the Jupiter, put yourself out there. Something you might have been afraid of doing before. And that's a way you can face your fears in the more Leo 9 creative realm of your life. And I think I've mentioned this book on some of my other videos, but I can't help myself. It's such an amazing book for this subject, fear-facing around art. And that's the book called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. It's like on my top 5 list of books to read. And that one's deeply resonant with the energies here as you move forward with bravery, coupled with creative inclinations. Now, besides just the prescription of having a good time as a form of medicine, tough job, but somebody's got to do it. But that's the energy of Leo, especially with Mars and Sag in the mix. There's a playfulness there. But it's a lot to do with getting into the heart space. Okay. Now, we have a lot of Capricorn and Aquarius energy going on right now. The sun's in Aquarius right now. Of course, in the last video, the Aquarius new moon video, I talked a lot about Aquarius energy there. A lot of inventiveness. It's an air sign. It's on the mental plane. Okay, we combine this with all this Capricorn energy we have going on right now, which can be really focused on logic and reason and practicality. So the combination of earth and air can leave us susceptible to be too much in our head and not enough in our heart. So I really feel like the core meaning of this full moon is taking the 1,000-mile journey from the monkey mind down into the heart space. So we can really embody that energy of love, okay? And of course, that will help us to have more joy and expressiveness in our lives. One dark side manifestation of Capricorn Aquarius energy is cold calculation, detachment, aloofness, too much intellectualism, just kind of floating around as a disembodied head, providing everybody your position papers on every subject, So much about this is putting the head back on the shoulders and getting the energy down in the heart and really focusing on the purification of sun energy. Sun rules Leo. Now, there's something called Sabian symbols in astrology, and these were created by a well-known astrologer as well as a very powerful clairvoyant in the early 20th century, where they got together and created a group of words or phrases associated with every single degree of the zodiac, all 360 degrees. And this full moon in Leo is happening at exactly 20 degrees of Leo, 20.00. So I looked up the Sabian symbol for 20 degrees of Leo, and it was Zuni Indians perform a ritual to the sun. This is a beautiful image of, kind of turning away from extreme versions of civilized intellectualism and connecting with the source of all life with a fiery exaltation. And also an identification with, worship, looking up to the sun, wanting to breathe in more of that warmth and gravity into our lives. And then also the sanctification of creative power. I love this Sabian symbol for this full moon, and it's really good to just contemplate on those words as we try to take that journey down to our shining heart. The snow angels in the face of the sun, the divine exaltation to purify and melt cold calculation from the stress-burdened mind that filters through our egoism. And this is all about a return from our mind into the heart of the sun. Well, that's the evolutionary intention, with the goal always being to expand our consciousness. Now, with the theory and the understanding of the energy that we're working with, at least the first half of the month, I want to transition more into the meditation now, where we can take this energy and play with it in meditative space to strengthen it even more. The music that's playing is a binaural beat, so for best results, please use headphones. Sit in a comfortable position and keep your spine straight. And start breathing rhythmically and comfortably. As you inhale, breathe deep into your belly. Feel your abdomen expand first, and then your lungs. And then immediately exhale, and first feel your abdomen contract, and then your lungs. Inhale. Exhale. Very comfortably. 4 heartbeats per inhale. 4 heartbeats per exhale. Into the belly. Exhale. Now bring your conscious awareness down to your right big toe. Feel your right big toe. And see a snow white color around it. And feel the rest of your toes on your right foot. Snow white color. A little bit harder, see if you can feel your right toenails. Now feel the rest of your foot. See the snow white color in and around your right foot. Nice slow breathing. Now up into your ankle. Into your calf. Feel it soften and relax. Now in the knee. Up into the right thigh. Snow white color. See the snow white in and around your entire right leg. Right hip. Now into the left hip. Left thigh. Nice and steady breathing. Left knee. Left calf muscle and shin. Left ankle. Left foot. And into the toes. Now see both legs and your hips with that snow white color. Feel them soften and relax. Feel the warmth. Now the lower belly. And the whole abdomen. Lower back. Relax the lower back. Middle back. Bring the snow white color to the upper back now. And shoulders. The right upper arm. Right forearm and elbow. Right wrist. And hand and fingers. In your mind's eye, bring your right hand in front of you, the palm in front of you, and in the center of your palm, see a tiny blue dot from a ballpoint pen. bring your attention to your left shoulder, snow white color. Upper arm. Left elbow. Forearm. Wrist. Hand and fingers. Now in your mind's eye, bring the palm of your left hand in front of you and see a tiny red dot from a ballpoint pen in the center of your left palm. Now focus on the front of your neck and under your chin. And the back of your neck, feel it relax. Four heartbeats per inhale. 4 heartbeats for exhale. Feel the ears. Back of the scalp. Top of the head. Forehead. Feel your eyebrows. Your eyelashes. Eyelids. And eyes. And feel all the nerves that go from your eye to the center of your brain. Feel them soften and relax. And your cheeks, chin, lips, upper jaw, lower jaw, tongue, and then follow your tongue down your throat into your chest area. Feel your entire chest area soften and let go. Try to feel your heartbeat. The deeper you go, the better you feel. The better you feel, the more you relax. The more you relax, the deeper you go. The deeper you go, the better you feel. The better you feel, the more you relax. The more you relax, the deeper you go. Now focus on the chest area and see a bright rosy sun start to radiate from your heart center. In and around your chest area. Each time you inhale, you see the sun become brighter and brighter, this rosy color. Each time you exhale, see energy ripple out in all directions. Brighter and brighter. This is the heart center, the center of our emotions and desires. Feel love for yourself. This meditation is an act of self-love. Each time you inhale, see the sun get brighter and brighter, almost blinding. And when you exhale, see the energy ripple out in all directions. Now we'll focus on Leo virtues. Feel the energy of play in your heart. Of exuberance. Warmth. Charisma. Courage. Positivity. Loyalty. Inspiration. Creativity. Magnetism. Feel these strongly in your heart. Embrace them. As you see the rosy sun get brighter and brighter. The archetype for Leo is the lion. Imagine a lion in your heart. Feel its strength, its expressive roar, and its quiet dignity. Feel and honor that lion archetype within you. Now imagine you doing something that brings you great joy. See yourself at play somehow, doing something that brings you great joy. One I like to use is laughter with friends, uncontrollable laughter. Our bellies are hurting, we're crying, but we're feeling sheer joy through connection and laughter. Feel the play. Feel the joy. Keep the visualization strong and vivid. And use the senses. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? And touching. Hold the playful image while seeing the sun grow brighter and brighter. The Sabian symbol is Zuni Indians perform a ritual to the sun. Now link consciously to the source of all life on Earth, the sun. Connect to the sun that keeps us warm in the deep freeze of space. And connect to your heart that warms cold calculation. This is a return from head into the heart of the sun. Now visualize your entire body as a very bright, white, bluish energy shining in all directions. Feel the vibration in every cell of your physical body. You are radiating light in all directions. Now return your attention back to the room or wherever you're sitting. Start to wiggle the toes and fingers. Come back to planet Earth, so to speak. This meditation is a way of honoring this time that we're in, the Leo full moon, the Leo within you, a way to connect more deeply with the heart and bring energy down from the mind into the heart, so that over the next couple weeks you can shine brightly into this world, just through your natural state of being, but also through your ability to create. I hope you enjoyed this meditation, and I'll see you again next time. Thank you.